Welcome back to my channel Celebuzz. Please share and subscribe and press the bell icon for new updates. The Catholic Church has long stood as a beacon of faith and tradition, weathering centuries of change, challenges, and upheaval. When the announcement came that Cardinal Tagle had praised the newly elected Pope Leo XIV with the words, "Not a photocopy, but no turning back," it sent ripples through the global Catholic community and beyond. These words are packed with meaning, reflecting both a deep respect for the continuity of the Church and a recognition that the new pontiff represents a distinct transformative chapter. But what exactly does this phrase mean, and why is Cardinal Tagle's endorsement so significant? To understand this, we need to explore the extraordinary rise of Pope Leo XIV and what his papacy promises for the Church and its followers worldwide. Born in a world increasingly skeptical of institutions, Pope Leo XIV emerged as a leader shaped by the complexities of modernity, tradition, and a profound spiritual vision. Unlike some of his predecessors who were viewed as either staunch traditionalists or reformist radicals, Leo XIV embodies a unique blend of both worlds. Cardinal Tagle's reference to him as not a photocopy is a powerful metaphor. It signals that Pope Leo XIV is not merely repeating the footsteps of those before him, but carving his own path while respecting the Church's rich heritage. In this first scene, we delve into the background and character of Pope Leo XIV. From his humble beginnings in a small European town to his theological studies at some of the most prestigious universities, Leo's journey is marked by moments of deep reflection, challenge, and growth. His early years in the seminary were defined by a questioning mind and an open heart, a combination that sometimes put him at odds with more conservative elements, but earned him the admiration of many who saw in him a fresh perspective grounded in faith. The early signs of his leadership were evident when he took on roles that bridged the gap between the Church and the rapidly changing world. Whether addressing issues like climate change, economic inequality, or interfaith dialogue, Leo XIV demonstrated an ability to speak to contemporary concerns without compromising on core Catholic values. His writings, often poetic and deeply philosophical, touched on themes of mercy, justice, and the urgent need for the Church to be a force of compassion in an often divided world. Cardinal Tagle, himself a prominent figure known for his humility and progressive outlook, found in Leo XIV a kindred spirit. Their shared vision for a Church that embraces both tradition and reform resonated deeply. When Tagle stated, "Not a photocopy, but no turning back," he was acknowledging Leo's commitment to maintaining the essence of the Church's teachings while steering it toward a future where it could more effectively respond to the needs of its global flock. This scene sets the stage for a deeper exploration of Pope Leo XIV's vision and the challenges he faces. The phrase, "no turning back," hints at a decisive, forward-moving leadership style that refuses to retreat in the face of opposition or difficulty. It evokes curiosity. What changes will Leo XIV implement? How will he navigate the tensions between tradition and modern demands? And most importantly, how will his papacy impact millions of Catholics worldwide? As we move forward, the story of Pope Leo XIV unfolds as one, not just of a man or an office, but of an institution at a crossroads, guided by a leader whose journey is both personal and profoundly symbolic for the Church's future. When Cardinal Luis Tagle uttered the phrase, "Not a photocopy, but no turning back," in reference to Pope Leo XIV, he captured a profound tension that has long defined the Catholic Church's path through modern history. To truly grasp the weight of these words, one must understand both Cardinal Tagle's own vision and how it connects with the broader hopes and challenges facing the Church today. Cardinal Tagle, hailed by many as one of the most influential and forward-thinking leaders in the Catholic hierarchy, has become synonymous with a hopeful, compassionate approach to faith. Known for his eloquence, humility, and progressive stance on issues like poverty, migration, and interreligious dialogue, Tagle embodies a modern vision of Catholic leadership, one that neither abandons tradition nor blindly clings to outdated models. In the crowded corridors of the Vatican, where centuries-old customs and doctrines often dominate, Cardinal Tagle's voice stands out. His interpretation of Pope Leo XIV's election as not a photocopy emphasizes the unique identity that the new pope brings to the papacy. This is not about repeating history or mimicking predecessors. Rather, it's about forging a new path that respects tradition but is responsive to today's realities. For many Catholics, especially younger generations who often feel alienated by rigid institutional structures, this sentiment offers a beacon of hope. It promises a Church willing to adapt and engage without losing its core identity. The phrase "no turning back" is equally powerful. It signals that the Church is committed to moving forward, embracing necessary reforms, and confronting modern challenges head-on. Cardinal Tagle's own journey mirrors this philosophy. Born in the Philippines, a nation with a vibrant Catholic population, yet facing significant social and economic challenges, Tagle's pastoral work has been deeply rooted in the struggles of everyday people. He has consistently advocated for a church that listens to the marginalized, migrants, the poor, and the oppressed, while also engaging in dialogue with people of different faiths and backgrounds. His admiration for Pope Leo XIV is grounded in shared values, a commitment to mercy, social justice, and the courage to address difficult issues such as climate change, economic inequality, and sexual abuse scandals within the Church. Cardinal Tagle sees Leo XIII as a leader who will not shy away from these crises, but instead confront them with transparency and compassion. The phrase "not a photocopy" also invites reflection on the evolution of the papacy itself. Over the centuries, popes have varied widely in style and emphasis. Some were political rulers, others were spiritual mystics. Some embraced reform, others enforced orthodoxy. Pope Leo XIV's emergence reflects a synthesis of these qualities, informed by a contemporary understanding of the world's complexities. Cardinal Tagle's statement carries a subtle challenge, as well. It reminds the Church and its followers that while respect for tradition is vital, it must not become a trap that prevents necessary change. This balance between continuity and transformation is a delicate one, fraught with tension but also rich with potential. In practical terms, this means Pope Leo XIV is expected to champion initiatives that reflect this vision. For example, he may emphasize a more inclusive approach to church governance, promoting the role of women and lay people in decision-making. He might intensify efforts to reconcile with other Christian denominations and non-Christian faiths, deepening interfaith collaboration in a fragmented world. Moreover, the phrase "no turning back" suggests a firm stance on environmental stewardship. Following the footsteps of Pope Francis's landmark encyclical Laudato Si', Leo XIV's papacy is anticipated to continue and expand this legacy, advocating for urgent action to combat climate change and protect the vulnerable ecosystems upon which humanity depends. The global response to Cardinal Tagle's words has been overwhelmingly positive, with many commentators noting how they encapsulate the Church's need for a dynamic yet grounded leader. In social media conversations, Catholic youth groups and theologians alike have expressed excitement at the prospect of a papacy that promises reform without rupture. At the same time, the statement fuels curiosity and debate. What specific reforms will Pope Leo XIV pursue? How will conservative factions within the Church react to this vision? And how will he maintain unity in a faith community that spans nearly 2 billion people with diverse cultures and expectations? Cardinal Tagle himself has been candid about these challenges. In speeches and interviews, he acknowledges the difficulties inherent in leading such a vast and complex institution. Yet he remains optimistic, emphasizing dialogue, patience, and humility as essential tools for navigating the path ahead. This scene reveals not only Cardinal Tagle's deep admiration for Pope Leo XIV, but also the theological and pastoral principles that guide their shared vision. It invites viewers to consider the Church not as a static institution, but as a living body, capable of growth, healing, and renewal. As we move forward, the story of Pope Leo XIV's papacy will continue to unfold against the backdrop of these powerful ideas that challenge the Church to be both faithful to its past and courageous in its future. As Pope Leo XIV steps into his new role, endorsed so passionately by Cardinal Tagle, the world watches with a mixture of hope, expectation, and cautious curiosity. The phrase, "not a photocopy, but no turning back," not only celebrates his unique leadership, but also hints at the formidable challenges that lie ahead for both the Pope and the Catholic Church. This scene explores the complex landscape Pope Leo XIV must navigate, a terrain marked by deep-rooted tradition, urgent calls for reform, and the diverse hopes of a global faith community. One of the most significant challenges facing Pope Leo XIV is balancing respect for the Church's centuries-old traditions with the pressing demand for meaningful reform. The Catholic Church, as the world's largest Christian denomination, carries a profound responsibility to its nearly 2 billion followers. Yet it also confronts criticism for perceived rigidity, lack of transparency, and resistance to change. Pope Leo XIV's papacy is seen as a pivotal moment, a potential turning point in how the Church addresses these issues without fracturing its foundational beliefs. Cardinal Tagle's words implicitly acknowledge this delicate balance. To be not a photocopy means that Pope Leo XIV will not merely replicate the leadership styles or policies of his predecessors, he will chart his own course. However, no turning back signals his commitment to uphold the core values and teachings that have sustained the Church through centuries of upheaval. This balancing act requires both wisdom and courage. Among the most pressing issues Pope Leo XIV must confront is the ongoing reckoning with the Church's handling of sexual abuse scandals. For decades, these revelations have shaken the faith of many believers and demanded systemic change. Transparency, accountability, and justice remain critical demands from survivors and the wider public. Pope Leo XIV's challenge is to continue advancing reforms begun by previous pontiffs, ensuring that the Church not only acknowledges past mistakes, but implements effective safeguards to prevent future abuses. Moreover, the Pope must address the role of women within the Church, a topic that has sparked heated debate among theologians, clergy, and lay people alike. There is a growing call for increased participation of women in leadership roles, a reevaluation of clerical celibacy, and greater openness to lay contributions in decision-making. Pope Leo XIV's approach to these issues will signal how the Church intends to evolve in the 21st century while respecting its doctrinal boundaries. Environmental stewardship is another critical area where Pope Leo XIV is expected to make a significant impact. Following the trailblazing work of Pope Francis, who emphasized the moral imperative to protect the planet in his encyclical Laudato Si', Leo XIV's papacy is anticipated to further elevate ecological concerns within the Church's mission. With climate change posing a global crisis, the Church's voice on environmental justice carries immense weight, especially in communities most vulnerable to ecological degradation. Interfaith dialogue and peace-building also feature prominently on Pope Leo XIV's agenda. In an increasingly polarized and conflict-ridden world, the Church's ability to foster understanding and cooperation among different religions is vital. Cardinal Tagle himself has been a vocal advocate for such dialogue, reflecting his experiences. In the Philippines, a country marked by religious diversity and occasional tensions, under Pope Leo XIV, the Church is expected to deepen its commitment to bridging divides and promoting common values of compassion, justice, and peace. Internationally, Pope Leo XIV faces geopolitical complexities that extend beyond religious matters. The Vatican's diplomatic role has always been influential, but contemporary global challenges such as migration crises, economic inequality, and human rights abuses demand nimble and empathetic leadership. The Pope's stance on these issues will be closely watched by governments, activists, and millions of faithful seeking guidance on how the Church can be a force for justice and solidarity. However, navigating these challenges is complicated by internal tensions within the Church. Conservative factions often resist changes they perceive as threats to doctrine or tradition, while more progressive groups push for rapid reforms. Pope Leo XIV's leadership style will be crucial in mediating these tensions, fostering dialogue, and promoting unity amidst diversity. His background, described by Cardinal Tagle as not a photocopy, equips him with the tools needed to engage with these divergent voices. Known for his ability to listen and empathize, Leo XIV has cultivated relationships across the spectrum of Catholic thought. His papacy may therefore be characterized by an inclusive yet firm approach, seeking consensus without sacrificing conviction. The global Catholic community itself is not monolithic. Cultural, social, and economic differences shape the faith experience in various regions, from the deeply traditional practices in parts of Latin America and Africa to the secularized contexts of Europe and North America. Pope Leo XIV's challenge is to address these varied realities while maintaining the Church's universal mission. In this complex and dynamic environment, the Pope's personal qualities, his humility, intellectual rigor, and pastoral sensitivity will be tested as never before. His decisions will not only influence theological debates but also impact the daily lives of millions who look to the Church for spiritual guidance and moral clarity. Cardinal Tagle's endorsement underscores the belief that Pope Leo XIV is prepared to face these challenges head-on. The phrase, "no turning back," serves as both a promise and a warning. The path forward will demand resilience, adaptability, and unwavering commitment to the Church's mission in a rapidly changing world. As this scene closes, the narrative invites reflection on the immense responsibilities that come with the papacy today. Pope Leo XIV stands at the crossroads of history, tasked with honoring the past while boldly steering the Church into an uncertain but hopeful future.